My divine feminine soul sister, this is a message to you in your alignment with your beloved. It has not been an easy path to get here, so I thank you for being in service to your heart, to the heart and womb of the divine feminine, and this rising of the divine masculine in his glory, so we can play together, have more fun, get out of the trauma patterns and into the treasure codes. Love and light. Twin flame energy, feminine love aligned with masculine energy, FLAME. All right, we're playing the new game instead of the old shadow. So here is my download from my galactic journey into the womb of the feminine. So first of all, little context is that for years I've learned and have taught that there's the great galactic womb, like everything's a hologram. All the feminines have, all the women have a womb, and the divine feminine goddess is the great womb of nothingness. And the ancients taught this. Within that void, that nothingness, that blackness, then comes the seed of light, and we can create new universes. And we were literally created in all of that, obviously, if we know about conception, there's the sperm, the egg in the womb. And so there's this spot in the womb that the ancients talked about, this deep divine feminine ancient cavern that we all have, and in the midpoint is sort of the conception point of nothing, of where it all started, the center of the mother. And that is the place where I went today in my journey. And oh boy, was it not fun. It was painful. It was death. It was blackness, and it was terrifying. Terra means earth, fying. And I went into this process of descent, dropping down from my kind of like positive, optimistic Amanda self into the bones of the ancestors, into the place of a cryptic, dark past. And in that place, I stayed with the love. That's what the twin flames do. We go deep sea diving into our fears, and we're like, oh, look, there's a fish. Let's have some fun with this. But I was sweating. I was almost heaving. I was probably snotting and crying. This was intense pain. Luckily, I had two incredible masculines, one of which is my husband, to take care of me as I was like processing this pain. What I kept trying to do and what I kept noticing myself doing was skipping ahead. Like, this is okay. Like, we don't need to go here. But I also got like, stay with it. So I kept on staying with it. And this is what I'm sensing for us as feminines, is stay with the pain a little longer than you anticipate. Stay in the stuckness, stay in the decay, the death, the descent. Because there is a bottom point, and you cannot get back to the light until you go there, if you feel this downward pull. And that didn't mean for me that I was going into real death. That didn't mean to me that I was giving up all the good things in life. I actually was holding the light, breathing my breath, trusting the path, connecting to God, angels, my higher guidance, as I was like, oh my God, this is hell. And I know y'all divine feminines, you light workers, holders of the flame, the love codes, whoa, you've been doing this. So just a reminder, it was a reminder for me, a metaphor in life of go and descend. And so here's what the divine feminine was showing me down in that sort of like a bardo / womb, is that there's an old divine feminine code, a Sophic code, that in some ways is a corrupted version or a trauma code patterned version of the feminine, of the Sophia. And in that, we ain't moving forward to heaven on earth. In that, we honor and thank it and we send it love. We honor the assault patterns, the trauma patterns, the incest patterns, the horrifying histories of war, shame, slavery, and we let it freaking die. We let it dive down deep into us until we get to that 0 point of conception, that black space, that nothingness, and we portal through the black hole into our rebirth. And this is the resurrection. The divine feminine is about resurrecting within, resurrect it within, going inward to the womb. And it can feel like a full-on death. And some of us have manifested womb issues, dis-eases, discomfort, itching, lumps, tumors, all that kind of stuff. Bless you if you haven't. Sending prayers that you keep the most holy, sanct womb, and there's no womb for error. And sometimes we need these earth timelines to be a little messy so that we can dive into the muck and course correct it. So what I was getting is that the divine feminine has been curated by an old grandmother consciousness, one of which is barely holding on, barely breathing. Maybe she's even on her deathbed. And where she's been coming from is trying to hold all of the humans' pain, all of the earth's pain, Gaia holding on to her children in a way that has not been sustainable. She is overwhelmed. Her pain cup runneth over, plastics in her oceans, fumes in her lungs, choking. All that pollution needs to be alchemized and new systems need to rise. And so this feminine goddess is very old. She could be called Sophia or Eve. She has this ancient vibration. A lot of the things I saw were older forms of DNA that have been here on this planet, whether it be ancient Hebrew bloodlines, ancient Atlantean, Lemurian, indigenous blooded people have been holding a lot of these codes and representing her wisdom, like it's encoded in the memory. And so there are a lot of those of us who've been holding those memories who are like really ready to release, transmute, and create new DNA patterns, essentially by taking new patterns of action, by making new decisions on how we're operating. One of the biggest themes in this journey was, it ain't my job to heal all the dead ancestors' problems. It ain't my job to heal the pain of the earth. It ain't my job to heal grandma. That grandma is ready to ascend, and that's okay. And she is ready because we, her children, are sending her off with so much love. We are okay, grandma, to let you go. We are the grail. You have bestowed upon us the holy light, and we have purified it. And it's our time to create not from trauma and working on fixing and healing and controlling. Now it's time to correct and redirect into a new pattern. And I swear there are so many synchronicities that keep showing up. As I was channeling this, my daughter from downstairs took a poo-poo and was saying, we live in Bali where there's the bidet thing, the butt washer, and she says, "Mommy, wash my butt," over and over. And you could actually hear it in this recording, so I'm re-recording over this. But what I'm getting is that there are no mistakes, that it's now the time for the mother to attend to the root of the child, the past of the child. And what we've been doing instead is we've been in this cycle where the mother has been caught in healing so much of her trauma that she hasn't been able to sort of cover even the basic needs on a soul level, on a spiritual level of her child. And her child has been carrying all of this root chakra pain, survival, Some have received generations of intergenerational trauma and around the sexuality, around being a female. And we have literally been born into generations of a rape culture that is now being healed and brought into a twin flame culture or a divine union culture where we stand with our masculine. And there are all sorts of opportunities for healing, and triggers may come up, and inner children's butts might need to be washed because we get poopy with our partners and messy. Okay, sorry for the metaphor. But from my downloads from today, basically there's this old grandmother that's been operating on the globe, a spiritual grandmother. She's been taking care of us, and she is no longer living in a sustainable frequency. She's taken on so much trauma, and it's her time to go. And it's our job to step up in love and leadership and create more sustainable cycles within not only society with eco villages and solar powered communities. That's the direction we're I think we know we're all headed. It's also about being sustainable within our own selves and managing our energy with our partners, within our families, starting to set better boundaries. And so in my descent, I was trying so hard to jump to the next level of, I want to be a healer, so I'm gonna raise my energy and I'm gonna go here. And it was like, stay in the low until you organically grow up and rise. And this is what I'm getting is a challenge for the feminine, is actually we've been operating from this masculine place of like, okay, I need to meet my beloved. I need to meet my man at his pace, or my masculine needs me now. So I'm going to exit my own feminine womb space healing projects, and I'm going to go comfort him, and I'm going to overgive to him, and I'm going to meet him where he's at. And I'm coming from this space of disconnect from my own feminine energy, from overwhelm, from being a people pleaser, taking on other people's pain, taking care of the children, taking care of the business, taking care of the taxes, taking care of the home. And then we give it all away. And then we're coming from, oh wait, why am I acting like a bitch? When my period comes, why do I become Kali and attack? And why is he attacking me? Or why do I suppress and shut down? And he's telling me things and I just want to leave. Whatever our patterns are, they get brought to the light during certain cycles and moon times and astrological transits. And it's going to behoove us to stay with our pain more. And when I feel into that, it's not like, okay, you were supposed to stay in suffering and, from the law of attraction, we just stay in our pains. But actually, a lot of people, like if they go to, they constantly complain. They're not actually in their pain. They're kind of in their pleasure around it. They're like, oh, I'm such a victim. So it's not about that. It's about just really listening to the body, being in the body, like breathing into it. Stay in the uncomfortability of it until it shifts, until it gets lighter. And it naturally does get lighter. And then go to him. Don't go to your masculine if you are sacrificing your basic level of stability, emotional well-being. Send him a text. Let him know, I need more time. I love you. And sometimes we don't even have the words. Like I was so deep in this channeled state and in this pain that I barely could whisper, help me this way. It was just like, blah. So sometimes we might mess up. Sometimes we might be a mess. And the message that I was getting afterwards is, thank you, masculine, for witnessing me in my mess. I, the divine feminine, will always try her best. And I have those moments of my best mess. And here I am. And so if you could either offer a lending hand or just unconditionally love and accept me in my mess, forgive me eventually when you can. And thank you, divine masculine, for taking care of yourself while I'm in my mess and I'm not available. Thank you for letting me trust you to lean into yourself, for you to self-parent and repattern your trauma wounds that are in this trauma bond thing that we got going on. Like, as I'm in my trauma, you're showing up to heal your trauma. And then we get back together, we debrief it, and we realize and celebrate how much we've grown, and we illuminate the areas where we get to work on ourselves. So beautiful. And that is celebratory worthy, celebration worthy. Oh my goodness. That is like the ultimate expression of God and Goddess, is like alchemizing that lead and celebrating, hey, like maybe we didn't get to gold, but we got to like some sulfur here. Like, we've taken a step, or whatever the next metal is. We've gotten to bronze. We've gotten to dirt. No. So there's a lot of celebration that we need to do that we haven't been doing in our humanity. We've been so hard on ourselves, especially those of us who are little Magdalenas and Christ force holders and ancient healers who've been ushering in this new dawn and alchemizing the traumas of the floods and fires of Atlantis. We are coming back as incredibly aware and woke, and also, we had a lot of trauma and we're still sorting it out. We're kind of messy. So can we celebrate if we have come this far already? And I think we got a little too lofty when we incarnated. We were like, we're going to be little Jesuses and Mary Magdalenes this lifetime. We're going to be saving the planet. It's going to be so brave. And like, that is amazing to have that light in you, celebrating that within us. That's great. And let's talk to our inner child of like, hey, that's not how it works on earth. You're going to be not perfect. And that's part of the pleasure of being on earth, is you get to learn how to accept and love yourself and therefore each other more. And like, what a gift to have a partner and a family that can love you when you are a wreck, or when you make a mistake and you knew that you made the mistake, or maybe you didn't and you had to learn in the most humbling, sometimes even humiliating, pants down way, that people can love you and lift you up and let go of attachment to the old version of yourself and see who you really are now that you've grown. That is such a beautiful and higher form of love. So really, so much gratitude for this new respect for the masculine. They are here. They're standing by us. We've got to stand by ourselves. Having sacred spaces for sisterhood is important. Having sacred spaces for brotherhood is important. That way we can nourish the union even more deeply. Having divine union light holders, aka power couples, coming together to co-create and amplify. That is where we're heading and where we are cracking open the doorways now. And what a beautiful gift to appreciate our ancestors, the great grandmother of all who has been holding us, and she doesn't have to hold the pain anymore. We can simply be in it until it's just so deeply alchemized by our love for her. Grandmother, you never were the pain. You never were the suffering. And I say grandmother, but it's not about male or female. It's just about this loving, healing energy within our consciousness that we are as light workers. So we are so grateful for everything that you've been doing and holding, and you don't have to do it anymore. You can ascend into higher realms. As we embody those higher realms here, we connect with you. We are ready to usher in this new dawn of soul families collaborating together, standing into our love leadership, our sovereignty, looking at our shadows, laughing at them, playing with them, looking at our gifts, standing on our own 2 feet, even when we feel a little bit wobbly, being proud of our imperfections and trusting the love and light is enough, that we've gotten here enough, that our matrix self is ready enough to create a divine union with Mother Matter, the matrix, and divine patterns of light. Father, Sky, and Earth coming together for holy matrimony. And next episode will be around holy matrimony, how to merge the divine feminine womb energy and the divine masculine light codes that come from our future selves and technology. So stay tuned. Just making that up, but who knows, maybe it'll happen. All right, this has been fun to just drop this message. I felt like it was something on my heart based on a journey that I was so privileged to receive today from the wonderful Svi here in Bali and my husband Jack, and to your twin flame, alchemy, divine union, sacred masculine, sacred feminine, coming together in all their beauty and perfection and their mud and their mess, so that we can create that nice lotus energy, the spinning chakras. The lotus, comes out of the mud. And our beautiful, shining, shimmering chakras that are spinning perfectly can also come out of the muck and the mud. It's all good. So, yay. All right. Namaste. Namasko.